Good morning, children. Today we are going to see chemistry, a new chapter, chapter 5, coal and petroleum. So, you have learnt in your lower classes that coal and petroleum are fossil fuels, right? These are all the fossil fuels which are all present millions and millions of years as the resource from nature. So, first, tell me what is a resource? A resource is a thing which is useful, which is beneficial, from which we can do any activity or we can make use of it. Right? This pen is a resource, fan is a resource, light is also a resource. Right? So, a resource means anything which we can use it. When it comes as natural resource, the resources of two types. Okay, one is natural resource and another one is artificial resource. Okay, so artificial resources means prepared by man-made resources. That is what we have as tube light, fan, pen, pencil. The natural resources mean the resources which are all present in the earth over millions and millions of years. We do not want to pay for it and get it. It is present already as a gift by the nature to the human beings. So this natural resources is again of two types as inexhaustible and exhaustible resources. In other words, you would have learnt it as renewable resource and non-renewable resources. What is renewable? The meaning of renewable is it can be renewed, reused again and again. The opposite is non-renewable. It means it cannot be used again and again. So any non-renewable resource is present only in the limited amount. Once it is over, we cannot depend on it. So that is the meaning of renewable and non-renewable resources. The same applies to inexhaustible and exhaustible resources. You can better tell us the other name of renewable resource and non-renewable resources as inexhaustible and exhaustible resources respectively. Okay, inexhaustible. What is the meaning of exhaust? Exhaust mean over. It's going to be over. There is no more. It's done. That is the contextual meaning of exhaust. Right? So, inexhaustible. That means which is going to be present for a long time as again and again as an unlimited source. So that is what we call by the other name as renewable resources or inexhaustible resources. Example is air, sunlight and water. Okay. Non-renewable resources, other name is exhaustible. So it can be finished. It can be used only in limited amounts. Once it is completely used, we cannot depend on them. Such resources example only fossil fuels. Fossil fuels like coal, petroleum, your minerals, natural gas, all are examples of exhaustible resources. Okay? What is the meaning of fossil fuel? All these are your basics, children. You are learning this from your 5th standard onwards. Fossil fuel means the resources which are all present only by the decaying of dead organic matter over millions and millions of years. So, such fossil fuels are only coal and petroleum. In this chapter, you are going to learn about the exhaustible resource coal and petroleum in detail. How it was formed, where it is present, what are the other forms of coal, how it is used to the human beings. Okay, so what is coal? Coal is a hard stone like substance. Its color is black and it has many uses. Okay, it has many uses for cooking. It is used as a cooking fuel in railway engines and steamships and all. They used to burn coal for the steam. In the early days and all, they had the railway engines fuel as coal only. Nowadays we have metro trains, electric trains. So, one disadvantages of the coal is by burning coal the smoke is produced and a foul smell is produced. It causes air pollution. Okay? And we can even generate electricity using coal. You could have come across the word hydroelectricity, that is a production of electricity with the help of water. But we can even use coal to produce electricity. That is possible in the thermal power plants. Okay, and in cement plants, the place where they manufacture cement for constructing buildings, coal is used. In brick kilns, brick kilns means, you know that the bricks are made up of sand, right? The wet sand used to prepare the brick has to be burnt before it is out for sale. The burning place for the brick is given the name as kiln. In this kiln, the temperature would be very high so that the bricks are well burnt. So that is why we call it as brick kiln, the place where the bricks are burnt. For that high temperature to use the coal as a fuel. And in factories also they are using the coal as a fuel. Okay. The next, where do we find coal? The coal, as I told you already, it is a fossil fuel and it is a natural resource. So, it is obtained from the earth, that is very deep under the earth's surface. We cannot go and pluck like a flower on the tree. Okay, so we need to dig underground. You would have already learned that digging underground is by the process of mining to reach the minerals, right? So similar way, the coal is also obtained by the process of mining. We have coal mines in our country, in India, in Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal and Orissa. The largest coal mines are present in our country in the places Jharia and Bokaro in Jharkhand and Ranigunj in West Bengal. So Jharkhand and West Bengal are well known for the coal mines. This is where we obtain coal from in our country. Now let us see how the coal is formed. We know that it is a fossil fuel, right? So how is this fossil fuel formed? Maybe before 25,000 years or more than that also. About millions and millions of years ago, the land area that is on the planet Earth. So, we know that the earth was having only the forest. The land area was completely covered with the forest. So, this forest, by the action of the anaerobic bacteria. Okay, we know that anaerobic bacteria means absence of oxygen. So, there is no oxygen. This bacteria will not live in the presence of oxygen. So, all the oxygen present in the forest will be removed by the anaerobic bacteria. Okay, so by the action of this anaerobic bacteria, the forest which had hydrogen and oxygen will be removed. Only the wood will be there. Okay, so if there is no oxygen, the plants cannot grow, right? So only the carbon present in the atmosphere will be present by the action of anaerobic bacteria. the wood along with the carbon in the atmosphere over millions of years and years, and as well as by the high temperature and the pressure created by the earth. You know that when there is a pressure, that is when the shaking of the tectonic plates, the land area may get moved, so a pressure will be created. Okay, so with the only with the carbon and the wood, and by the high temperature and the pressure, coal is formed. The wood will be getting compacted. Compacted means they would just remain on the land area for millions and millions of years only with the action of carbon, and they will become so hard and tight. That results in the coal formation. So that is what I have written here as stony residue. What is meant by residue? The leftover parts. The wood from the forest, by the action of anaerobic bacteria, loses all the hydrogen and oxygen. Only carbon in the atmosphere will be there. And by the high temperature and the pressure of the earth, it forms coal. Coal is nothing but the stony residue. The wood will become so tight that it appears like a stone. It becomes as hard as a stone. Okay, and from this residue, that is a leftover material, you would find some amount of methane also. The methane is released from the coal. Understood? So this is how the coal is formed as a fossil fuel on the planet Earth over millions and millions of years. Since it involves anaerobic bacteria and as well as there occurs a chemical change, we call this process as a biochemical process, and the name of this process is carbonization. It is wood to coal formation. It gets the name as carbonization. It is a biochemical process. Okay children, so with this I would like to stop. Then the remaining we can continue in the upcoming classes. Thank you children.